So many places, so many teachings, just in Thailand. I mean, when I came here in 95, there were hardly any places. Most of them have sprung up since that time. And I guess now when you come back to the West, there are hundreds and thousands of these places. All over the world. All teaching Buddhism. I mean, the more we read, the more we hear about Buddhism, the more we might get confused. Now, what is the real thing? What is Buddhism? What is it that the Lord Buddha taught us? I mean, this person says this, that person says that, another person says this person teaches this method, that person teaches that method. I mean, in the end, we have to get confused. I mean, there's no way that we can distinguish, what is right and what is wrong. So in the end, we have to fall back to the Kalama Sutta, where the Lord Buddha said about at that time, other ascetics, who were teaching. I mean, look at what they teach. If that leads to wholesomeness, okay, then follow it. If that does not lead to wholesomeness, then don't follow it. So you have to do the same thing now with the Buddha's teaching himself. Because everybody understands something else. Everybody thinks, picks out a part of it, of the teaching, and presents it as his method. I mean, in the end, we have to feel sorry for the Lord Buddha, who taught a straight path, the path to enlightenment. He taught this to his bhikkhus, he taught it to the bhikkhunis, and he taught it to the lay people. And now we have all this variety, all this diversity. We have three major schools in Buddhism. We have the Mahayana, we have the Tibetan Buddhism, and we have Theravadan Buddhism. And in each school, we have so many sects. So, it is back up to you, to decide what you want, what you are looking for. What am I looking for? Why do I do Buddhism? Or why do I want to do meditation? Do I just want to be happy with my life? Do I just want to get, on with my life? Do I want to have the utmost sukha that one can get in the human life? Sukha is by the main pleasant thing, pleasant feeling. Dukkha is just the opposite, unpleasant feeling. And when we look back, what the Lord Buddha taught, in the human life, you can have at most 50% of sukha, and will have always 50% of dukkha. I mean, in the realms above us, in the heavenly realms, the higher we go, the more sukha we have, but we still have dukkha. In the lower realms, the lower we go, the more dukkha we have and the less sukha we have. So if we want to get rid of dukkha, we have to follow the path of the Lord Buddha that leads us to the end of dukkha. If we just want to be happy, and some people are just happy, be born again, die, be born again and die. Maybe we don't believe it. Maybe we don't believe it that we are born again. Maybe we doubt it. So, if we doubt it that we are born again, why to do good? What's the purpose of doing good? There's no purpose. I mean, I just take, if I'm strong enough, I just take what I want. And that's the end, when I die, that's the end. Soon there's nothing left. Everything disappears. But if there isn't there something within us that tells us that cannot be? Isn't there something in us Isn't there something in us that, that is something like a conscience? I mean, of doing, not to do it bad, or if we do it bad, we have a bad conscience. Where does it come from? Why are we so scared of hell? Why do we want to go to hell? I mean, if somebody says, this island is nice, or this place is nice, I mean, we can think about it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we want to go there. If somebody says there's a terrible place, we can think about it, but we're not afraid of it. So why are we afraid of hell? Because we have been there. Why do we want to go to heaven? Because we have been there. We have experienced it all. Each one of us, there's no one of us who has not experienced it. And not only one time. So we know that bad actions will lead to bad results. If you go against the 5 precepts, it will lead us into the lower realm. If we follow the 5 precepts and practice generosity, respect and gratitude, then we will go up. I mean, the Lord Buddha taught it very well. I mean, he taught the Dhamma to us in a way that we can understand it. I mean, our physical appearance is the result of our karma. It's not because, of our parents, of the genetics. I mean, the parents can be both, the mother can be beautiful and the father can be handsome, but the child can be pretty ugly. It's because of our karma. And where does ugliness come from? The Lord Buddha teaches us. Ugliness, in German actually we have that word that has the same root. Ugliness comes from hate. Having too much hate. Being a hateful, despiseful person. So in one of the next lives we will become ugly. So that people, keep on distance to us. And why are we so attracted to beauty? Because there's something, it's beautiful comes from the means or from the karma of serving other people. If we serve with our whole body, our whole body becomes beautiful. If we serve just with our hands or with our arms or with our legs, these parts of the body become beautiful. The Lord Buddha teaches it. And so that's why we are attracted to beautiful people. Because in their last life they have served others. And it's always nice, to connect to people who are not so egotistical as we are. That's the whole reason behind it. And other things, all our abilities that we have in this life, they don't come from our parents, they don't come from our genes. The abilities, they come from previous lives. Because we have done this and that, in our last 5 previous lives, then we are very skilled in this life. If a doctor has been, a doctor for five lives, he will be extremely skilled. But now in this life we forget it. We think it's our right. So beautiful people, become just the opposite of serving others. Then they like to be served. Ugly people, sometimes remind themselves maybe it's not so. If my appearance already, discourage other people, maybe I become a nice person to attract, So karma really will change us. People who are rich, they're only rich because they have been very generous in their previous life. And now they turn around, instead of getting more generous, even more generous, they become stingy. Extremely stingy. Stingy to the degree that they not only give away their money, but they take even more money from other people. So it's always, there's always like a sinus wave. There's a high and then it falls down. And then it falls down just to the opposite. And then it comes up again. That's life. I mean, just remember that. Or reflect about it very often. I mean, our skills, our abilities, if we have not trained them, in the previous lives we wouldn't have them. People who can talk, people who can think correctly. I mean, that is a training. Although we went through the training, from our childhood to university. But that doesn't mean that we are all equal. I mean, when you were at university, some people understood very quickly, and other people didn't get it. They just didn't get it. No matter how much they tried, but they just didn't get it. You could tell them, often and often, but they just couldn't get it. So these abilities, the things that are not material, will stay with us in our next life. So that is why it's so important, to train wholesome things. Not only that we get back wholesome things, but also that we learn things. We learn things that we develop ourselves. I mean, just developing practice for one life will not lead to the end of dukkha. I mean, we have to do that for quite a while. And now, at that moment in this life, we just don't know where we are. I mean, we don't know how much we have trained. We don't know how much we know. We don't know how much insight or wisdom we have. So that is very different to very different people. So thinking about this, thinking about karma, hearing what the Lord Buddha says about karma, that it will come back. If you do good, it will come back to us. And reflecting about what is coming, what is happening right now to us. Is that what we have done in the past? Are the results of the past? So, do we want to fight them? If we fight them, we make them stronger. They will come back to us, they will keep coming back to us until we cannot otherwise than face them. We are put into a situation, and a lot of people are put into a situation where they cannot escape their karma anymore. Where they are oppressed by other people, where they're put into prison, without having done anything, just to receive the karma that they're trying to escape all their life. I mean, karma is there. We have created, let's get up, let's wake up, let's get responsible for our life, and let's accept it. Accept the karma that we have done, even if we don't remember that we have done it. We have that saying in English that don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. So whatever is happening to us is what we have done unto others. I mean, I know it's hard. It's very difficult. It seems that karma is not very merciful. But karma is just the law. I mean, it's just like law of physics. I mean, if you drop something, it will fall to the floor, no matter what. I mean, the only thing that you can do is if it doesn't want to break, you see it dropping and you put something under it, a mat, so it doesn't break. And that's all the thing that we can do. We can accept karma, and remove the harshness of the karma by accepting it and understanding that we have done it. And just accepting karma, just not trying to change the world as it is, just trying to change us, just to remove the evil from our heart, and it makes us good people. And will end up in a very successful life. Not successful in the Western sense. I mean, not a lot of money or things like that. But successful that we are happy. And that is what we are longing for, isn't it? We are longing for happiness. We are longing, not to be separated from ourselves. And the ways of meditation that teaches is, do good and you will receive good. Do bad and you will receive bad. That should be very clear to us right now. All the religion, even the Christianity teaches it. If somebody hits you on the right cheek, give him the left cheek. And if he doesn't hit you, that's not your karma. If he hits you, it's not your karma.
Cannot newcomer be created? So?
Of course. Each moment we create newcomer.
You can hit someone and that's from now.
I just wonder what he was thinking about when he turned out of person.
That is just interpretation. I don't want to interpret what he was thinking when he said that. But certainly, it was in the same direction, accept your karma. Just don't hit that. And that is the first thing that we have to learn. Accepting our karma. Whatever comes back, we have to accept it. No matter how unfair it seems. There is no unfair. Karma is not unfair. Karma is just a physics law. You don't say that the law of physics is unfair. Huh? Do you? Is anybody saying that? So how can you say that karma is unfair? Because it seems unfair to us that all the bad things are happening to us. And that's why the Christians run to the church and say, pray to Maria and say, please take away that, that heavy load of me. Huh? If they win in the lottery, they don't run into the church and say, please take that heavy load of me. They might, if they're grateful, they go to church and say, thank you. But if some misery befalls them, they don't thank you. Isn't that interesting, All the good things, is all right to happen to us. All the bad things is unfair. So there's something wrong with our thinking. So if we accept that the karma is just like the laws of physics, it's extremely fair. Whatever we have done, no matter if it's good or bad, it will come back to us. But it's just like karma is not only, sometimes, the laws of physics are not really evident. We didn't see a lot of things coming up. When we invented certain things, we didn't think about the side effects. And now after 30 or 40 years, all these side effects coming up, because we really didn't understand. In science, we're really guessing. Most of our thing is guesswork. Thinking, okay, this is happening, 10 times, so this must be the law. But we only observe the results. We don't observe the byproducts of this. So we think we understand it. And that's why we do a lot of mistakes. And that's why the world is in a mess that it isn't. But that's up to them. Let them do whatever they think is right. Let us do whatever we think is right. Let us do whatever we want that others do and well. But of course this is hard. I understand it. This is very difficult. Because each moment we open our mouth, we have to think about it. What are we going to say? What kind of effect will it have on the other person? Will it be devastating? Will it be encouraging? Will it be this or will it be that? Whatever we do, we have to think about the effect. And that's of course quite tedious. I understand that. We just want to do it. But if we just want to do it, then it's like a few days ago we said, we're living on autopilot. And what is autopilot? It's karma. Karma just runs down the stream. Huh? Just like water runs down the stream. And we just flow in the direction of the stream. Sati, or mindfulness, or mind emptiness actually, is that when we get hold of it and say, no, we don't want that stream to run in that direction. We're going to build a wall so that it runs in a better direction. That's when sati comes into play. But that, of course, has a lot of work. I mean, we have to hold up our reaction. We have to evaluate everything what we do and see, the effect of it. And we have to change it all the time. So we have to be, all the time we have to have mindfulness. All the time we have to have sati in our life. And then things are going to change. Certainly they are going to change because we don't want to cut our hand. We don't want to hurt our hand. We don't want to hurt our foot. I mean, the moment we realize, just because we had a lapse in sati, we hurt our foot. I mean, we broke our leg, did this, or we just took things, that were not really proper to do. Or we said things, that were hurtful. Or they were untruthful. I mean, what is happening to us if we constantly tell lies to other people? I mean, it's very easy thinking. I mean, wherever we go, we hear lies. So, I mean, that is also happening, within the circles of meditation. So now people are interested in practice. People are interested in Buddhism. People who constantly lie to other people, who constantly deceive other people. I mean, they will go to the teachers who deceives them. I mean, that's very clear. I mean, that has its karmic effect. But people who try constantly to be truthful, to remain to the truth, if they are going to seek for the Buddha's teaching, I mean, they will end up to the people who tell them the truth. So, I mean, it's all up to us. Huh? It's all up to us, what we have done in the past. Now, when we are here at this place and also, well, it's just my personal opinion. You find the truth of the Lord Buddha's teaching. But of course, everybody says that. Everybody, nobody says, I'm not telling, I'm not really teaching the truth of the Lord Buddha. Everybody will say that. So, I mean, if I say that, well, what's the difference? It's for you to investigate for yourself. If what I say is, sounds reasonable, because the teaching of the Lord Buddha is reasonable in every aspect. I mean, he just says, go along this path, and you will find that. And if you go along, for instance, the Anapanasati, if you concentrate on the tip of the nose and just observe the breath coming in and coming out, your mind gets calm. And when the mind gets calm, it becomes contented. When the mind is contented, it is happy. And it is not alone anymore. And the deeper we go, the more we concentrate on this point, the more we become one point. Until everything disappears and shows us the truth. That's when we run into Appana Samadhi. I mean, Appana Samadhi is the preview of Nibbana. Everything disappears. Everything that is not really true has to disappear. And all what is left is that what is really there. I mean, it's our true chitta. What you call it, it's our true chitta. It's that thing that you cannot kill. I mean, you can kill everything. I mean, you can kill persons, you can kill beings, you can cut off your arms and legs. I mean, you can screw up your memory and things like that. You can screw up your feelings. I mean, all the five khandhas you can screw up completely. But you cannot screw up the chitta. You cannot kill it. So it will just look for another body. I mean, be it a body of the heavenly realm, or be it a body of the lower realm, or being it no body at all. I mean, just suffering. Whatever it gets. The chitta is the never-ending tourist. I mean, just like we go from one country to hop from one country to another. I mean, what do we find? The same thing. We find people, we find houses, we find trees, Sometimes we find sand and beach. But people are people. I mean, if there is nose is flat or pointed, it really doesn't matter. If they have brown hair or blue hair or red hair, if they have a yellow skin or if they have a white skin, or dark skin. I mean, they're still people. They're just, composed of the same elements as we are. And that is, it's the same thing, when we hop from one plane of existence to the next plane. I mean, wherever we go, there are beings. So now, wherever we go, be it in the West, or be it here in Thailand, in the end, nobody really can help us to decide where we have to go. We have to find. We have to find that place that suits us. That suits our personal characteristic tendencies. Normally our heart is leading us. If you go the spiritual path, we don't have to do a lot of things. The heart is going to lead us to these places. Sometimes, we can stay at these places, and sometimes we can't. Why? Because we don't have enough merit to stay at these places. We have not done enough. We have not practiced enough generosity or gratitude or respect to be able to stay long enough at these places. But sometimes we can stay. That all depends on us. People can come here, and find this place, fantastic, and after 3 days they leave. They don't have, it's just the karma is just, drawing them away. And that is wherever we go. So think about what you do, what you want to do with your life. I really put that into your heart. Most of you are still young. Most of you still will have a lot, quite a few decades to live. Think about what is worthwhile for your life, what you want to achieve in your life. And then go for it. Do it. It's not that you cannot do it. Do it. Find the thing that is most important in your life, and then go ahead and do it. That doesn't matter, if it's worldly or if it's spiritual. If you want to become a ballet dancer, you want to start this way. And if you do that for several lives, you can be. Even an athletic body is common. People who are completely unathletic, it's also common. The Olympics, people who compete in the Olympics, it's their karma. They are just good. They have done that. They have done sports or they trained their body, for many, many lives. Otherwise, if you want to become a doctor, a very skillful doctor, you just start training now. And, sooner or later you will become one. But if you think, if you really think maybe, I don't know if I go to hell, after my death. No. I'm a little bit afraid. I want to make sure that in this life, I make a decision for a good thing. That I cannot fall back into hell. Then I have to go the path to stream entry. Because stream entry, entering the stream, guarantees me that I do not fall in the lower realm. But that is, of course, not an easy work to do. You have to cut the first 3 fetters. The first 3 fetters, the fetter of doubt. Doubt, of course, that there is karma. Doubt that there is heaven and hell. That there are good results when you do good, and that there are bad results when you do bad. Doubting all this. Doubting that there is an end of dukkha. That there is nibbana. This is the first fetter that most of all of us, will keep away from going to the stream entry. That doubt, not necessarily, maybe say, okay, yeah, maybe it exists. But I can't do that. That's also that. If we have the ability to listen to the teacher, that tells us, to do this and to do that. And if we do this and do that to gain, to be able to complete it, we can do it. But of course, some people have to put a lot of effort in, and some people have to do less effort, depending what they have done in the previous life. If you have the chance to listen to the Buddha's teaching, you have the chance to go. Not every one of us, just look at all the people, you see, even in Thailand, they don't have the chance, to listen to the teachings of the Lord Buddha. And in the rest of the world, all these billions of people, they have no idea. So if we have the ear, to hear and to listen to the teachings of the Lord Buddha, and if we put our effort into it, we can do it. But of course, it's up to you. Just following karma or just taking karma very seriously and taking the 5 precepts very seriously, that will lead to a good life. That will lead to a happy life. But we don't know what our karma, what kind of karma we have in store. Do we know that? No. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not so good. Good karma, we'll get in one store, and bad karma we'll get in the other store. As long as the store of good karma is overweighing, the store of bad karma, we will be okay. But the moment our good karma, goes down, we will receive the bad karma. So go down in the lower one. So think about it. Really think about it really seriously, what you want to do with your life. And then find. If you decide what you want to do, if you want to make sure that you cannot drop down into the lower round, then you have to find a teacher that tells you, how to get into the street, how to enter the street. If you decide, I don't want to come back anymore, not even once, then you find the teacher who teaches you how to go to the end of dukkha, how not to be born again. And don't think it is easy. Don't think, you might think, you'll be able, just reading a few books, the teachings of the Lord Buddha that tells you, how to go there. It's very difficult to follow the books on the path. What is mostly, and then what is also given in the sutras are always the questions of the monks had, when they had problems in their practice. To whom did they go? To the Lord Buddha. And he could point it out, and they didn't have to find it for themselves. He could point out the problems that, you can't do this, you have to go this path. And then, of course, it's clear. Now there's nobody that points us out. If we don't have a teacher, who has already the experience of going the path that we want to go. If you find like a person like that, of course he can point out our problems. He can help us with the problem. Just like the Lord Buddha said, a Sotapanna can help the people with the problems that of worldly. A Sakadagami, a once returner, can help even a Sotapanna with their problem. A Nanagami can help the people of a Sakadagami, of a once returner. And an Arahant can of course help the Anagami, with his problem. And the Lord Buddha can help the Arahant with it. So we always have to rely on some teaching that is not only written down. Of course, written down, leads us to a certain way. But we get stuck. How do we practice it? Or what do we do with when this kind of hindrance comes up? We can't even see the hindrance because we are not familiar with the hindrance. We are not familiar with the tricks of the kilesas that just blind us at that moment. So if we have a teacher who checks on us, or who sees our practice, you have to do this, or you have to do that. So in the end, if we want to go out, If you want to enter the stream, or if you want to go to the stage of Anagami or Arahanthood, I mean, we need a teacher. 99.9%. Only people, who have gone up to the path in their previous lives, that they just need, a click. Just like the Lord Buddha, sometimes they just said a sentence or a word or a phrase, and they got enlightened. But not because, the Lord Buddha said it, just because they had done it in their previous lives, under previous Buddhas, have they practiced. And all what they needed to know is, just this insight. So there are a few people of that kind. I mean, Ajahn Mun could do it for himself. I mean, there was no teacher for him. But without Ajahn Mun, all the other Arahant disciples of him, would have had a hard time. If he wouldn't point out the way to them. If he wouldn't, just like Sanatana Mahabodhi sometimes said, he came down from his cave, because he couldn't solve a problem. So he went, he walked for a day or walked sometimes for 2 days, going back to Ajahn Mun, asked him the question and went back. Because he couldn't solve it for himself, because he couldn't see it through. And he said that was a great help for him. Otherwise he would have been stuck, for years maybe, not even knowing what kind of problem this is. But if you just want to be happy, if you're satisfied with the endless birth and death, all what we need to know is the 5 precepts and do wholesome. Okay. Practice a little bit of sati or samadhi each day, just to relax a little bit, just like other people take a nap. We make a meditation, just to relax ourselves, to calm us down. And then, try to remember and to keep the 5 precepts and do wholesome things. That's all. Then we don't need a teacher. We see it within ourselves. We know, the more we go down, the more we know our conscience. It tells us immediately if something is wrong, because the heart beats up. So we know something wrong. So we don't do it. Or try not to do it. I know sometimes it might be very difficult not to do. So we have to learn. So then we don't need a teacher. Because that is pretty clear. But if you want to find the way out of dukkha, or if you want to find the way to stream entry, then we have to rely on somebody. We have to rely on a training that will lead us there. Just the training that the Lord Buddha describes in taming a wild elephant and making it the war elephant of the king. First of all, you have to tame it so that he sticks. So you have to catch him and tie him to a pole. That is samadhi. Until he knows he cannot escape anymore, and he says, put. And then, then the training goes on, then soldiers are coming with spears, and piercing. Just in the beginning, just a little bit, so that he keeps calm, even in battle. The Lord Buddha took this example, for the training of a monk. So, piercing it, because the war elephant of the king cannot shake even in death. And that's quite a tough training. And that means, we have to face up to our painful karma. That piercing is our painful karma. It's the pain. It's sickness. It's any kind of thing that is unpleasant. First of all, to accept it. There is some unpleasantness. Accept that there is pain. And then investigate that. That is important. We have to understand what is the nature of the pain. On the path that leads us to the deliverance, we have to understand everything. So the first thing is, we have to forget everything that we learn. Everything that science teaches us. And we have to rediscover it within our own framework. We have to understand what is muscles, what is flesh, what is skin, what is hair. Not in the terms of biological or medical science, but in terms of seeing the true nature within us. To understand what is the true nature of hair, what is the true nature of skin, what is the skin, holding back from, what is actually going on in this body, what is the nature of thought, what is the nature of feeling, what is the nature of this, what is the nature of all our words. I mean, in our language we have so many words. We have 120,000 in English. Something like that, huh? I mean, what do they mean? Let's go back down to the basics. And what are the basics? The basics are the 5 khandhas. So, what are the 5 khandhas? It's body, and with the body comes the 6 senses, so eye, ear, nose, tongue, touch, and thinking. Then there's feeling. There are 2 kinds of feeling. There's bodily feeling and mental feeling. There are 3 kinds of feeling. There's neutral feeling, there's pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling. So that's the basic. Not emotion. Memory and association. All our memories, from the past, just memories. When we see a tree, that is also memory somewhere. Association. And thought and consciousness. So all these words, that tell us, this word. What is the word, We'll put it back into, what is it? I mean, is it eyesight? When we see of the word, then it's eyesight. When we think about the word, then it's thinking. Put it back into the basic to understand the mechanism, how it works. You want to understand the tricks of the magician, don't you? Or are you going to willingly be fooled by it? Of course, yes, some of them are very nice. I mean, when you go in a magic show, some of the tricks are really nice. I mean, that's just grateful. You go back to behind the stage and look how he does it. I mean, you don't get fooled again. I mean, how he does it. How can you get fooled? And so you want to understand, how these things are created, how emotions are created. I mean, without sati, you will not know, you will not understand. If you are not mindful, if you are not aware of what is going on right now, if you are aware that there is a feeling coming, and then you are aware there is an unpleasant feeling, then the next thing that you are aware of, that there is a memory coming up that provokes this unpleasant feeling, makes it stronger. And then you are aware that a thought comes in, that increases the unpleasant feeling. And within about 300 rounds of this, you have a very strong emotion. Hate comes up. And you know how fast hate can come up? You know how fast liking can come up? Or greed can come up? Just within the blink of the eye. But within the blink of the eye, there are 3,000 mind moments. So, you can do quite a loop. That explains, so that explains us. If we have enough study, we can see it, how it evolves. So we can see it behind the trick. We can see it's only a mixture. Just going to a restaurant, all over the world, they similarly use the same ingredients. But look at the difference, the variety in tastes, and we are fooled by it. It's salty, it's sweet. It's greasy. What is it? What else is there? Sour and so on. Huh? I think there are 7. That's it. But just the combination of these 6 or 7 tastes, foods, that is new food. If we, instead of we put that food on our tongue, and extract these 6 tastes from it, we wouldn't be fooled by it anymore. We see there's a part of sour, we see there's a part of grease in it. We could even see, the more aware we are, how much of there is in it. And it's the same thing with our life, How much percentage of the body is in this what we just experienced, how much percentage of feeling is in there, or how much percentage of thought is there, and memories is there, and consciousness. That's when we're really aware. When we're really aware of what is going on. But most of the times, we're just once in a while, okay, what happened? Why did I do this? That happens. Huh? And the more we do meditation, of course, the more increases this kind of awareness that comes up. But that doesn't mean that it's enough awareness, to understand what is going on the basic level. That's why I say, if you really want to understand what is going on, you have to pull everything down, and put it in one of these 5 basic blocks, building blocks. And then you will understand what is going on. If you care to understand. Some people just don't care to understand. I love this food, that I don't want to investigate the food. That's up to them. But we are put, as monks, we are put in a situation where we cannot choose. So, in the end, we will investigate it, right? I would like this kind of food, but you go on Pindapad or on Armstrong, and you don't get this kind of food. So you have to investigate it. And you understand it. Being an ascetic, brings you back to the basics. It doesn't let you go out in the world of of the sense pleasure. Because the more you go in the sense pleasures, the more diversified they are. In the end, sometimes we really want to understand who we are. Did that question ever cross your mind? Who the hell am I? Why I'm here? Why I'm in this body? Why I'm in this world? What am I doing? What is the purpose? What is this I? What is what we see? What is what we think we are? What we think we are, everything, what you think you are, is within these 5 khandhas. You can, put it down. There's nothing that goes out of the 5 khandhas what you think you are. Either it's memory, most of it is memory and thought. And some of it is body and feeling. There's nothing else that you call yourself. You constantly talk about yourself. I made this experience. What is it? Memory. I have this idea. What is it? Thought. I feel bad. What is it? Feeling. Or I feel sick. What is it? Body and feeling. Nothing else. That's what we call us. That's what we call ego. A combination of these five khandhas, of these 5 groups. That's why we have to first put it back to the basic building blocks to understand, how that goes up. And the interesting thing is, if we let go of all these things, we don't have to defend it. It's just like wind goes through a cloth, that lets every wind through. Nothing. We don't have to defend our ideas. We don't have to defend our thesis or things like that. Whatever we think, that's okay. If somebody else thinks it, that's also okay. He has the right to think. We have the right to think. He has the right for opinions, and I have the right for opinions. But I'm not bothered by his opinions. But as long as I take pride in what I am, then I have problems. If I want to be a teacher, I have problems. No matter, if I want to be a good teacher, a famous teacher, I have problems. From the moment I think this way. Because there will always people, who don't want me to be a teacher. Who don't like me to be a teacher. Or who don't think that I'm a good teacher. There are always people, wherever you are, wherever you work, there are people who want to put you down. Because by putting you down, by putting somebody else down, we think we rise. That's why we put down other people. That's the whole purpose of it. So when we put down other people, next time you have the tendency, look at it. What is happening? You feel better than this other person. So that's why, everybody wants to be better. Everybody wants to be number one. And that's the whole problem. If you don't want to be number one, we don't have a problem. That's our problem. We're just happy with whatever's happening. We don't have to defend ourselves, we can happily live in this world. We still have food to eat, everything. But because we want to be something. We want to be some whatever you call it. Some sort of self, some sort of personality, that's me, And then look back, 20 years ago, what was your personality? And you see it's different. You thought differently. You had different ideas about the world. Now you have different ideas. So where's this personality? A personality that changes, is that really a fixed thing? The only fixed thing that we can find is a chitta. That doesn't change. The true chitta doesn't change. But everything around, it does change, of course. So who am I? The best way to find out who we are is go into Apana Samadhi. And then, there's no problem. When you come out, you will see the difference. So, I guess with this I close my talk.